Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. Um, there's been a few things happen lately that I thought I should bring up and just share because they're rather interesting and there might be people out there that would benefit from this information. Last July, I had a heart attack. I was taken by ambulance into Murray Bridge. They checked me out and transferred me to the Royal Adelaide Hospital. Subsequently, I was in the Royal Adelaide Hospital for 5 days and I had a stent inserted. Because I'd been taken in by ambulance, I was in my pyjamas, for one thing, and I had no way of getting home. Um, for those of you that don't know, I live in Canalpin, which is about 160 kilometres from Adelaide. So that meant that I was well and truly stuck. I said to one of the nurses about this, that I had no way of getting home, and she said, "Leave it with me, I'll get somebody to come and see you." Subsequently, a lady came and saw me. I presume she was a social worker, and she said she could get me on a bus to get me home, quite inexpensively. I forget how much it was, but it was only a matter of $16 or $18 one way. But I had to sign up with some body called My Aged Care, which I'd never heard of. So I signed up with My Aged Care. The bus was organised. I was discharged. I went down to the patient waiting room, which is just by the main entrance. The bus came, I got on it, went home. Marvellous. A few days later, I got a phone call from My Aged Care, who I'd never heard of. And it turns out that My Aged Care is a government organisation here in Australia. It's federal. And there's a federal thing, I can't think of the word. There's a federal program to help people that are getting on. It's kind of like NDIS for people with disabilities, but it's just for people that are aged, getting on. I think you have to be 65 or over, unless you're an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, in which case you can get it at a younger age. Um, so this person went through it all with me, told me what to do, what I could do, and this, that, and the other thing. Subsequently, I got some home help for 3 months, I think it was. Two ladies came once a fortnight for 2 hours, and they helped with housework and vacuuming, washing floors, that or anything that needed doing really around the house. They were brilliant. Cleaned the bathroom, and I was ecstatic. Oh, this is wonderful, because I couldn't keep up with it. Anyway, after the 3 months, that finished. It was only a set amount of money that had been put aside, and the ladies, they the second last fortnight they came, and they said, "Oh, like next week's or next fortnight is our last time here." What do you mean? And they explained. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was ongoing. No, for ongoing care or assistance, you have to sign up for a package, a home care package. Okay, so I contacted My Aged Care, and they ran me through, very helpful lady on the phone, ran me through what needed to be done. First of all, she said you have to be assessed, and she organised that. Subsequently, I got a phone call from the people that do the assessing, and I think it's ACOS, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So they rang, made an appointment with me to ring again. It wasn't the actual assessor that rang me, it was an administrator. The appointment was made. The assessor rang and went through a series of questions, a questionnaire, and she said that you'll get a letter in due course, but it could take a while. There's quite a waiting list. So, okay, I said, well, how about if I leave it 4 or 6 weeks, ring my aged care and ask them what's going on? She said, yes, that's how it works. Ring my aged care, they'll tell you where you are up to in the queue. Anyway, it was only a matter of about 3 weeks later, I got a letter. The letter said that I've been accepted. There are 4 levels of care in the scheme, and I qualified for level 3. Okay, so there was a reference number. In the meantime, I'd spoken with a friend of mine who was already getting this, and we'd had a brief discussion about it, because I just rang him and said, I never heard of this. And he said, oh yeah, that's what I'm on, blah, blah, blah. And we had a chat about it. So, I've lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it. I'll just edit this bit out. Oh dear. That's right. He'd been with a particular provider that he wasn't happy with, and he changed providers to another one, and they allow you to self-manage your care. Now then, if you have a provider that manages your care for you, they take 26%, I believe it is, off the top. So whatever money is allocated to you, 26% of that is theirs. If you self-manage with this particular carer he was talking about, I don't know about others, but with this particular one, it was 15% if you self-manage. By self-managing, it means that you organise your own carers, you find your own carers who have to be qualified and so on and so forth, not just anybody. And you're responsible for invoicing and the general administration of your own care plan. So, okay. I spoke to someone from this particular care manager. I believe it's, I should know this off the top of my head, Trilogy, I think. I went to their website, filled out a questionnaire. Subsequently, I got a phone call from Trilogy. They ran through it all with me, and they suggested an organisation which is you contact through a website called Mable. So I got onto Mable, signed up there, had a phone call from them. There was you put in your suburb or your town, and you fill out this questionnaire about the level of care, what you need help with, and so on. And it does a search and gives you a list of people in your area that cover those things. Alas and alack, Carnarvon has none, not a one. So I can't remember how it came about, whether I contacted Mabel or whether they rang me as a follow-up. I think they rang me. Anyway, the lady that I spoke to said that she would put out like an ad of what I was looking for, what I needed. The system that she was on, she could see who they had and where they were. So she chose a list of people, kind of like sending an email, to send this ad out to, which she did. And there's an email system within the Mabel system. So these people emailed me offering their services. I go through them, choose what I want, and or converse with them back and forth, communicate with them, and subsequently I'm in Carnarvon, and some of these people on this list that had contacted me were from places like Strathalbyn and Mount Barker, a long way away, over 100 kilometres, 115, 120 something kilometres away, which is not really that efficient, because they've got to travel all that way to and from. People are hesitant to do that. Also, you have to recompense them for it, which eats into the amount of care you can get. Now, with the care plan I'm on, the maximum hours I can get, I think, were 15 hours, 15 point something hours a fortnight. Now, the rate that these people get paid is around the $60 mark, but it depends on hours and days. Weekends are more expensive, public holidays are more expensive, and so on. Also, there's different rates for different levels of care, like nurses are more expensive than housekeepers and so on. So you've got a set budget that is allocated to you. On level 3 was what was it? For about $41,000, I think. So there are web pages you can go to that break all this down: how much a month, how much a fortnight, how many hours it is, at what rate, and blah blah blah. There's a lot of help out there when you go looking for it. So that's what I've been doing, and I've also found when you do a search, Carnarvon comes up with nothing. So I had this brainwave and thought, well, what if I try some different towns that are reasonably close by, because you've got your town at the centre. Well, if you move the centre to another town, you get a different part of an area, like that kind of thing. The circle moves around with the town at the centre of it. So I put in Tailem Bend, and I think I got another 6 people who I contacted myself, and as a result, I found one lady that was only about 60 kilometres away, and emailed her back and forth a little bit. She rang me on the phone the other day, and we had a nice chat, and she's coming to see me on Tuesday and see what we can work out. She's a lady that's studying to be a nurse at uni. She lives on a farm, She's young and energetic, and you know, all the rest of it, and likes to help people and so on. So anyway, she's coming on, or she wants a 4 hour block, which suits me perfectly because a 4 hour block means you get 4 hours work done with only X amount depending on the distance travelled. She's 60 something kilometres, so it'll be like half an hour each way kind of thing. So there's only an hour travel involved. Whereas if somebody comes from Strathalbyn, that's near enough 2 hours each way. So it's you know, proportionately less care you get out of your budget. So anyway, she's coming on Tuesday. There's also a man that can do landscaping and or even prunes fruit trees. Brilliant gardener. So I'm in the process of getting to know him and working something out with him to come and do the yard. There's also another man that's able to do all kinds of things, and it would appear that he's a handyman of some sort. So he might be able to do things like clean out the gutters once a year or twice a year, and give the solar panels a once over and that kind of thing. Because I can't get up on the roof. I'd never make it up the ladder now. So anyway, the point of this video really is to let people know that there are things out there that you know nothing about. Nobody tells you, you know. I mean, you're on the pension, you think you'd get notices from the government, oh, you may be eligible for blah, blah, blah. Nothing. They may have brochures in a rack at Centrelink if you have to go in there and look, but nobody guides you. It was only the fact that I had a heart attack, which is a traumatic event, but it turns out, in the long run, talk about every cloud has a silver lining, it turns out it's the best thing that's happened to me in a long, long time because of the additional help and so on that it's given me. So I'm very, very grateful for this. I think it's a wonderful thing. So that was really the point of this video. And if you didn't stay till the end, you haven't got a clue, have you? Which is a bit of a shame. So it just goes to show, if you don't watch a video to the end, you might miss out on the best part. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I hope this is useful for someone. My Aged Care is they're on a website. It's myagedcare.gov.au, and you can contact them through there. There's a phone number and all the rest of it. The people that I've spoken to on the phone have been wonderful, very, very patient, very, very helpful. Trident, I think it is. I can't remember now. But the care people that I'm going with, Mabel, they're all wonderfully helpful people and very patient, and all in all, it's been a very positive experience. I'll do a follow-up video in a few weeks once it's got started, because my care plan doesn't actually start until the 2nd of June. So I'll do a follow-up, a couple of weeks or a month or so after that, after it's started, and I can do a follow-up video then. All right, that's it for today. If you stayed till the end, thank you. Please give me a like and a subscribe. It helps the channel. Also, comments, you know where, down below. They all help with the algorithm. And thanks for turning up. Thanks for listening. And you'll see me in the next one. Bye bye.